for Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley. You see the 5-year age advantage for the fighter called Desert Storm. Half-inch height advantage for Pacquiao. Arm length advantage of 1 inch for the Filipino star. The weigh-in weight of 147 for Pacquiao, the highest of his career. Bradley was 1 pound under at 146. It's only Bradley's second appearance at welterweight in recent years, but he fought at welterweight several times back toward the beginning of his professional career. Tonight, unofficially, Bradley's gone up only 1 pound to 147. Pacquiao has gone up to 150. It's quite unusual in both instances that they only put on 1 and 3 pounds overnight. First to the ring, Timothy Bradley.
Every single fight I go into, I say, I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm gonna beat this guy.
Bradley takes and gives no quarter. He fights and fights and fights.
I'm the #1 fighter at 140 pounds. About to be the #1 fighter at 147.
I'm the best. I'm the best. You gotta prove to me you better than me. You ain't better than me. There you go.
It's not about the money. It's about that spot. I want his spot. I want the throne. And I always get what I want.
Timothy Bradley, unbeaten. Only 12 knockouts in his 28 wins. If there's a significant deficit, it would be the punching power. But it's the strength of his mind that those who support him are pointing to in anticipation of a big performance tonight. Let's take a look at Bradley's last 2 fights. His unification showdown a year and a half ago in Pontiac, Michigan against Devin Alexander. He just appeared that night more willing and more ready to fight than the opponent.
Bradley is just such a strong, determined guy and very difficult to time in terms of his attack. Very smart, very misleading.
Devin Alexander is more talented than Tim Bradley. But Tim Bradley wants it more, wanted it more that night than Devin Alexander. And those picking Bradley, and there are plenty of them in the press, believe that he wants it more than Pacquiao tonight.
Now Bradley, before fighting Joel Casamayor on the undercard of Pacquiao Marquez last fall, had never had a fight in Las Vegas. So this was important as a dry run, a rehearsal on a pay-per-view card, an appearance in the MGM Grand Garden ring, and he has a 1-0 record in Vegas coming into the bout. Casamayor wasn't really a viable opponent, so Emmanuel, he hasn't been facing live ammunition for 18 months.
No, and even before that, you know, he hasn't been in with this type of a fight that he's going to be in, but I think he'll be very prepared for it. One of those very unique individuals. I always refer to him as a mindset of a marvelous Marvin Hagler. Chip on his shoulder, very well protected, got that destructive, destroyer type mindset, but I think it will work very well for him tonight.
Some fighters, when they enter the ring, wonder, did they do enough? Are they prepared? Tim Bradley never has to enter the ring wondering, did he do enough? He always does as much as he possibly can.
They have built a new structure which dramatizes the hallway from the dressing area into the ring. The view that Bradley is looking at is a new one now in this arena, and frankly, there's no other entrance in boxing quite like this. If he wondered what the atmosphere of a big fight was going to be, he's about to feel it very graphically in the next several seconds.
Count me
clearly tightly wound and putting effort into this, it looks like to me, Jim.
Nothing wrong with being tightly wound coming into a fight
agree.
like this, right?
Don't come in too relaxed, and particularly going against a guy like Manny, who's a very fast starter. So I like his mental state of mind. I think he's wound up just enough, which he needs to be, but still relaxed.
Max, would you agree with that?
I agree. I think this is a guy who is primed for this moment. It would be hard for me to imagine a guy who's done more to prepare himself the right way.
There is indeed a surprising media groundswell. Quite a number of expert ringside reporters sitting behind us who have changed their opinions within the past week, from thinking that Pacquiao should justifiably be a solid favorite in the fight to thinking that this is either a pick 'em fight or an extremely dangerous spot for Manny Pacquiao, or even a fight in which maybe Bradley has the upper hand. And now here comes boxing's third world emperor, Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao's hands are blindingly fast. This is the brilliance of the Filipino slugger.
We thought Manny Pacquiao was great. He's better than we thought.
When I go into the ring, I have to perform and to make people happy.
Clearly in the hearts of fans who love exciting boxing, Manny Pacquiao is number one in the world.
Tim Bradley is undefeated. He's strong and he's fast also, but I believe that I'm faster and stronger than him. I train hard and I prepared spiritually and physically and mentally.
And incidentally, among all the many things Manny Pacquiao has accomplished in his career, one other noteworthy element we haven't discussed, but which you've looked at many times tonight. When first he came to the United States 11 years ago, he didn't speak a word of English.
He's did an amazing job of developing his whole personality. Been very warm with people with his natural, personality. Learned to speak English, much like Miguel Cotto. In fact, most of the fighters now from foreign countries are going out of their way to speak English very good.
Sergio Martinez working on it now.
Yes.
Cotto has done it. Pacquiao has done it. It's a tremendous step forward for foreign fighters in this country.
And for those who like Pacquiao by spectacular win and think the wide odds are justified, in the arena, they were playing Pacquiao highlights. You just saw it on HBO Pay-Per-View Pacquiao highlights. Tim Bradley's highlights were ordinary fighter highlights. Pacquiao's highlights are superstar highlights, extraordinary highlights, once in a generation highlights.
Well, he is.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Bob Arum's top-ranked boxing and MP promotions are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by AT&T, Rethink Possible, Tecate con Carácter, and Smart Communications of the Philippines. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Francisco Aguilar, Executive Director Keith Kaiser, and the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the three judges scoring will be Dwayne Ford, CJ Ross, and Jerry Roth, and inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Robert Bird. And now, the officials are ready, the fighters are ready. For the thousands in attendance, and courtesy of HBO Pay-Per-View, the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, with head trainer Joel Diaz wearing black with white, official weight 146 pounds. His professional record, 28 victories, including 12 knockouts with 1 no contest. He is the fighting pride of Palm Springs, California, the challenger, the current undefeated light welterweight champion of the world, Timothy Desert Storm Bradley. And fighting out of the red corner, with his head trainer, Hall of Famer Freddie Roach, wearing blue with red, officially weighing in at 147 pounds. His professional record, 54 victories, including 38 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 2 draws. And he is undefeated for the last 7 straight years. From Sarangani Province, Philippines, the 8-time world champion and reigning, defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Gentlemen, you had your instructions in the dressing room. And I'll remind you of now, and this is very important, when I tell you stop, what that means is stop whatever you're doing, give me a clean break. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands all the time. Both of you gentlemen are world-class, championship caliber professionals. I expect you to act that way. Mr. Pacquiao, Mr. Bradley, let's do this.
All right. One night, this incredible ride that Pacquiao's taken us all on, this devastating unbeaten streak in the heavier weight classes will come to an end. Can Tim Bradley make tonight that night?
Robert Byrd signals the official time. Keeper the bell sounds. Round 1 begins. All eyes on Pacquiao to see if he's ready for the fight or if he has been diminished by his personal transformation, as so many seem to be thinking is the case. Body shot for Pacquiao.
Freddie Roach predicted that Manny Pacquiao would not lose a round. He would win every round. I think it was a bad prediction then. I think it's even worse now as I look at it, because Bradley is making Manny punch and try to get him off balance after Manny throws his left hand and trying to counterpunch. It's a very tough competitive fight at this stage.
Emmanuel, don't you think that Freddie's dialogue about winning every round is a way of urging his fighter to be ahead on the scorecards if, in fact, an accidental butt happens and they have to stop the fight?
No, I think Freddie really believes that. He said that he would dominate Marquez the last fight very easily.
Oh, that's true. He predicted he would knock Marquez
really
down 6 times, and that was a faulty prediction as well.
Pacquiao, of course, not only has the hand speed, but devastating punching power that can equalize just about anything Bradley can do at any moment.
And, you know, he still, to me, is amazing. I have so much respect for him. He's really carried this sport to me for the last 8 years. He's been the dominant fighter that kept boxing in the headlines and never has dodged anyone. Has never even taken a retirement, a break off. Has fought everyone from 22 to 54.
And he's losing this round, the first of the fight.
What makes you say that, Max?
The times that I've seen a fighter clipped, it was Manny, except for one punch to the body that I thought Manny landed fairly cleanly.
What?
Minute 15 still to go in the round. Bradley's guard was up. This is once again conventional fighter against the southpaw, so look at the straight left hand down the pipe by Pacquiao and the straight right hand down the pipe by Bradley. More difficult in this instance to land their jabs, or at least that's the conventional wisdom. Bradley with a body shot under Pacquiao's left elbow. And another body shot there. Pacquiao lands his jab, notoriously inaccurate with the jab.
He's
makes
getting out
up for
of,
it.
but every time Manny throws his left hand, you watch he's getting out of balance. His left foot is coming out of balance, and that's what Bradley's planning on. He's taking time, timing him every time he comes in.
Watch the difficulty to see
So
it.
there, every time he throws it, he's out of position after that. He's counter punching him.
Pacquiao's so dangerous in exchanges. Even when the other guy seems to have the upper hand, he can put you on your butt in an eye blink. And at the moment, Bradley.
Hard left hand by Pacquiao down the pipe. Best punch of the round so far. Gets another straight left hand onto Bradley's jaw. Two big pops for Pacquiao.
Yeah, the best punches of the fight. He's won
By
the round
far.
just off
And
of that.
another straight left hand. I told you to watch for the straight left hand. He landed 3 booms in the last 30 seconds.
And he won that round.
And won the round.
Yeah.
Come on, short. You could do this. You could do this all night. You win the fight. Throw him out. Okay. Every time he takes a step forward, you slide back. He's falling short every time. You're blocking the left. Really good. Okay. When he gets a little aggressive, all you have to do is get your angles, champ. Get your fucking angles. You got it?
Hey, good job, Jim. Go to that body too, okay? Go
Hey.
to that body over.
Every time.
We need speed. We don't need the lot of power.
You understand? You can make
He's young. He's young.
Pagbitaw mo ba, Brad? Pagbitaw mo ng straight. Short lang. Pagbitaw
Well,
ng
do it for short straight.
Maiksi, labas. Wah.
Then move back.
Ang bagal ng kalaban. Ang bagal
He's
niya.
slow. He's slow.
Kunin mo si
You ever see Manny land a straight left hand? Bradley didn't get back far enough. He was pulling out of range. Here he comes again. The same, almost identical punch, the same way.
That was the punch that launched Manny Pacquiao's brilliant career, the straight left hand, and it bailed him out in a round that it appeared he was not winning. He landed 3 of them in the last 30 seconds. CompuBox numbers in round 1, Pacquiao 11 of 42, Bradley 10 of 78. Interesting that Bradley threw 36 more punches than Pacquiao in the first round by CompuBox count.
I'm not sure those punches won the round for Pacquiao. They may have.
Another hard left hand by
And
Pacquiao.
Bradley has been open for straight lefts. That's his Achilles heel. And that's maybe Pacquiao's best punch. There it is again.
Body shots by Bradley. Pacquiao blocks the upstairs stuff. Bradley goes back downstairs and hammers to the ribcage.
But there
over and over.
And you're seeing the metal that got Bradley to this point. When he gets hit and hurt, he comes back.
Crowd didn't like the fact that Bradley had his left arm clamped over Pacquiao's right arm, and Robert Byrd didn't break them.
I was really surprised that Byrd didn't catch it, and he held on to his head a long time.
Indeed. Bradley was holding and hitting. There's another good left hand by Pacquiao. This time he swept it to get it around Bradley's guard.
Bradley did a little better job at that time of getting his glove in the way, but he better do a better job than that as this fight goes on. Because the difference so far has been Pacquiao can hurt Bradley. Bradley doesn't seem to be able to return the favor.
Well, we mentioned the difference in punching power, obvious from the fight statistics coming in. Pacquiao's been landing in straight left. I haven't seen Bradley try to retaliate with a straight right. There it is. And he lands one as he drives Pacquiao against the ropes. Pay-per-view main events in Nevada normally begin at 8 p.m. local time or shortly thereafter. This fight did not begin until 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. Why the delay? Number one, a decision not to start the fight until a professional basketball playoff game had ended. And then the bizarre circumstance of Manny Pacquiao for a lengthy period of time being out of his dressing room, without his gloves on, down the hall, on a treadmill, trying to get his calves to loosen up. Another left hand for Pacquiao.
You see Pacquiao's superior firepower, but in the face of that, you see what Andre Ward, super middleweight champion, told me earlier today, which is that out of over 100 amateur fights and all his pro fights, Tim Bradley was as tough an opponent, they met in the amateurs, as he's ever faced. As tough an opponent.
And that was at 147 when they fought.
He keeps coming.
One of the celebrities at ringside tonight, Reggie Bush, Miami Dolphins running back. You'll be watching him on Hard Knocks when it returns toward the end of the summer on HBO, and Reggie's Dolphins are the subject. 5 weeks, beginning August 7, Hard Knocks. Everybody around Reggie
Take it easy.
happy that they got to be on TV.
Take it easy. Not too much. He knows you're going to go for the straight. Time it up. Time it up.
In and out. 1, 2, out, bang. Main event is coming.
In and out. 1, 2.
He's going to follow you wherever you go.
CompuBox numbers in the second round. Pacquiao only threw 37 punches, but landed half of them, 18. Bradley, 15 of 72. Pacquiao, 12 of 19 power shots. Bradley still has not demonstrated that he can stop Manny Pacquiao's straight left hand. Straight right hand by Bradley landed to the body. Pacquiao nods and smiles at it.
I already get the sense that Pacquiao's going to have to separate Bradley from his senses to stop him from coming, and maybe he'll do it. But Bradley keeps coming, Jim.
Crowd is heavily favoring Manny Pacquiao. The chant you hear is Manny, Manny, Manny. There aren't enough Bradley fans here to mount a Bradley, Bradley, Bradley that would compete with that. Straight left hand lands for Pacquiao again. This time below the chin. Good left for Tim Bradley.
He don't have the power. Manny has much more power, but the main thing is Bradley's got to find a way to neutralize that one punch. That's all. Mainly the left hand.
That's right, because Pacquiao isn't getting much done.
Not much.
With the jab or his hook. The straight left hand has been everything for him.
Everything, and he's really focused on landing that. But he has enough power that he can catch up ahead of anything that he's behind on simply by that one punch. Plus, end the fight.
And Bradley said he was concentrating on taking the left hand away from Pacquiao.
And he hasn't done it. That was another straight left hand on the chin.
Well, Manny is, you can almost predict in the head position of Bradley now. He's shooting the punches right where he thinks Bradley's going to move his head at, which is bending slightly to his right.
He's
to
trying.
Bradley's right.
Bradley's trying to neutralize it, but as many Pacquiao opponents find, there's really no way to prepare for his suddenness and his speed.
And as he ages, his timing. He's added timing to the arsenal.
Stop, I got you, stop.
Because he just doesn't throw as many punches as he used to. So he's not quite as dynamic. Body shot by Bradley and a good one.
If Bradley can survive these early and middle rounds, he'd be wise to put in that work to the body now so he can test Pacquiao's conditioning late in the fight if he gets there.
Bradley has never been able to land too much of a solid blow. I mean, he throws punches back. They're return punches, but they're not landing with their factors, except for a few right hands to the body, the way that Manny's punches there. See there, the little fast punches, but no power.
Pacquiao's punches move Bradley. That's a difference.
That's the difference.
It is so far.
Bradley tried to duck. Pacquiao got him on the top of the head with the left hand. Right hand landed for Pacquiao that time. Bradley gets him back with a left hook. Pacquiao gets him with a straight left. And the way Bradley put his tongue out and mugged, you know that Pacquiao is bothering him with a straight left hand.
But there Bradley is throwing back at the end of the round.
He's going to tighten up. The more he throws, the more he misses. He's going to tighten up. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Hey, you're executing the fucking left really nice. I want you to keep doing that. Every time he shoots that left, I want you to lean down, but come up with something, baby. You know how it is. This fucking guy has a name. If you go the distance, you need to put up the extra work, man. You're doing really good. You're dominating his ass, but I need you to put a little more work on your combinations. That jab has to be doubled. Hey, followed up by the straight right down the middle. Okay, and we need to work the body a little more.
A night time in Vegas. High drama in the ring. Manny Pacquiao's landing nearly 40% of his punches. In round 3, he was 21 of 50. That's the highest number of punches he's thrown in the fight. Bradley was 13 of 65. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I've got a 3-0, 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. Jim, let me tell you something that I've observed in this fight, and that is Timothy Bradley doesn't move his head. And when you stand in front of Manny Pacquiao and your head is straight up in the air like that, just like you see now, Manny can't miss it with the left hand. Watch Pacquiao's head. Pacquiao bombs, he weaves, he's always moving his head, never stops moving his head. Bradley puts his head straight up, leaves it there, Pacquiao nails him with the left. 3-0, Manny Pacquiao.
And when Bradley does move his head, he dips it down, he comes up with his head. And referee Robert Byrd just said none of that.
Pacquiao trying uppercuts with the left hand. Now comes across the top, lands it again. Gets in a little left inside. Bradley trying to go to the body, gets in a couple of shots. Right hook by Pacquiao as Bradley was landing a body shot.
And Bradley's getting in shots upstairs too, but as you mentioned, Jim, they're not really moving Pacquiao.
No, he doesn't have the power. You know, Manny's punches have about twice as much power.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Bradley's landing punches. He's fighting a typical, you hit me, I'll hit your back type, Bradley type fight, but he doesn't have the power on those punches.
Stop. Timothy, pick him up.
Pacquiao smirked after the headbutt. He smirked after the low blow. He seems very confident right now.
Smiling and laughing is Pacquiao as he continues to go at it with Tim Bradley. Has Bradley made a decision to try to crowd Pacquiao, Manny?
Yes, he is. That's what he's doing now. He's trying to crowd him and get inside.
Trying to take away the range on that straight left hand.
Manny punches good with range. He gets good leverage when he punches in. And Bradley's trying to shorten it up and take that leverage away where he don't have such a chance to warm up. I mean, to stretch those shots out.
Bradley really slapping with the hook in order to land it just then.
Manny doesn't respect the power of Bradley. You can see it in his face now.
And when Bradley throws several punches, he tends to let them go wide and wing them. Manny comes down the middle where his straighter shots sometimes get there first.
Manny's trying uppercuts. For the last 2 rounds, he's trying to predict the way that Bradley's head is and trying to catch him with a left hook.
And he's predicting it pretty well right now. This is a Pacquiao flurry. The right hook lands.
Well, he's moving his head now to survive because he's hurt. He was badly wobbled there.
Badly hurt.
Another mark of the power differential in favor of Manny Pacquiao.
So what does Bradley do here? He doesn't want to run to just survive. He doesn't have the firepower to keep Manny off.
Bradley's trying to fight back.
Well, that's Bradley.
Big right hand for Bradley at the end of that round.
He landed a right hand to punctuate the round.
Okay, hey, Chad, we're in the fucking fight. We're in the fucking fight. You have 2 options. You want to continue? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Dude, avoid the fucking pain. Ignore the pain in here. Okay, forget about your fucking foot. We're gonna win this fight, man. You got this? Forget about your foot.
Here we see an exchange right now where they both exchanging punches, and as I've said before, Manny is very good at catching people when they're in the exchange room because he punches and pivots back and forth very well. Nothing is landing clean except for that punch there. And it still didn't seem like it had that much of an effect, but I don't know whether Bradley twisted his ankle as he was moving away, or whether it was actually hurt from the punch, or whatever it seemed like his ankle was hurt.
Well, you heard Joel Diaz say, forget about your blanking foot. And Bradley must have said something to him about it. Pacquiao, by CompuBox count, landed 31 power shots in the 4th round, including 21 in that violent flurry in the last minute. It's very hard to imagine anyone scoring that round for Bradley, and frankly, for Bradley to be 4 rounds behind at this point is very bad for him.
Yeah, especially not being a big puncher.
You also saw in Bradley, he mentioned before the fight, look, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in flames. Pacquiao can put you on fire, and that's what he's done so far, but Bradley is still trying to win, which at this point in the fight, a lot of fighters wouldn't be. Of course, the harder he tries to win with those flurries, the more opportunities he gives Pacquiao.
That's the point. He was supposed to stay back and counter in some instances, or pressure and counter, but instead he's trading. And trading with Manny Pacquiao is a terrible idea if you are at a power deficit. Boom, another left hand. Bradley's straight right hand looked slow.
Pacquiao almost playing with him at this point with his guard up.
Pacquiao just playing with him, just to relax. I am surprised that Manny has been able to land his left hand as easy as he has been with Bradley.
Trading. And now more retreating for Bradley. Pacquiao got in another couple shots. And the left hand moves Bradley halfway across the ring. And Pacquiao drives him into the ropes. These power shots are taking their toll.
Way too much power. I was very, very surprised at the power that he has.
So far, what's so impressive about this for Pacquiao is he has a real game-primed junior welterweight champion moving up, a real credible opponent, and he's outclassing him.
Manny Pacquiao loves this kind of fight. This is exactly what
Bradley
he wants.
does too. Bradley just doesn't have the power, but Bradley likes this type of fight too.
And here's Anna Paquin, along with Stephen Moyer, the stars of True Blood, which returns for season 4 tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time on HBO. They're at every big fight now.
Water.
There's some true blood in Pacquiao's mouth.
Okay.
Been a pretty bloody good fight so far.
Move. Here you see a tremendous left from Manny Pacquiao. It seems as if he just physically overpowered Bradley at this stage right now. And it's just a matter of time because Bradley has not been able to get any respect from Manny with any power at all.
That's Jinky Pacquiao's response to the big left hand by Pacquiao there. So round 6 begins. It's been very difficult, at least to my eyes, to find a round that Bradley could have won up to this point. Pacquiao has landed good power shots in virtually every round.
So far, you see a good fighter against a great fighter, and that's been the difference.
Well, there were quite a number of media people here, ringside experts, who seemed convinced that Pacquiao wasn't going to be a great fighter tonight. But so far, this matchup is conspiring in his favor to a degree that practically none of us would have thought would be the case.
But not just a fighter, but just the physical strength is just amazing me. I'm looking at how much stronger. It looks like natural strength, just the opposite of what I expected. Manny looks like about 10 pounds of natural strength, and natural size, and much more punching power.
And incidentally, if you look at their physical histories, it's pretty clear Bradley is by nature the larger man.
Yes.
As an amateur, he fought at 152 and 156. And when he, right now, is fighting at age 28 at 147 pounds, Pacquiao at age 28 was fighting at 130.
It was a nice exchange.
Clearly, Bradley's the bigger guy, but Pacquiao's the bigger hitter. That's clear also.
And also, Manny's got a much better defense tonight than I expected.
Manny seems to be taking the first 2 minutes off of some rounds, Emmanuel, at least to a certain degree, and then flurrying in the third minute of the round.
Yes.
And incidentally, late flurries in several rounds were critical to him getting the beneficial decision against Marquez last fall. It's something of which he does more and more.
Bradley having a pretty good round this round so far.
Yes, but there's a minute to go. And this is what happens in the last minute, at least up to this point. Pacquiao tracking another left hand. Gets Bradley against the ropes and hits him 3 times with the left hand.
Smiles at us ringside and makes eyes as if to say this is fun. Pacquiao does.
Absolutely right.
Oh, good left uppercut on the inside from Pacquiao.
Great left uppercut.
Whatever it was that limited Manny Pacquiao last fall does not appear to be in the atmosphere tonight.
Don't follow him. Don't follow him. He's waiting for you. He's waiting for you. If you hit him, that's it. Don't wait for it.
Here you see Manny's got Bradley in the corner, just landing a lot of punches, but particularly the right hook to the body was maybe the best punch out of that whole exchange in there. And it definitely had some effect on Bradley.
Well, we mentioned the last minute syndrome. Pacquiao landed 8 punches in the first 2 minutes of the round, 16 in the last minute of the round. Winds up 24-58. Bradley landed 10 punches in the round. Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim, 6-0, 60-54. Manny Pacquiao. Jim, you can't take it away from a guy that comes over and smiles at the announcers. But anyway, Manny Pacquiao did tremendous damage with that hard left hand. I mean, he just nails him with that left hand. And that's been the absolute determining factor in each and every one of these rounds. I mean, he does more damage by landing that left hand. Occasional hard right hook to the body. 6-0, Manny Pacquiao.
I mean, to be playing cat and mouse with Tim Bradley tonight just speaks at the age of 33, incidentally.
Again, Bradley choosing to trade with Pacquiao. And once again, that's a dangerous tactic against a guy who clearly has more firepower.
But, you know, this is the way Bradley's fought always. I mean, as an amateur, he's known for those exchanges like that. But he's with a guy that can punch, unlike anybody he's fought before as far as punching power. But that's the way he likes to fight.
Well, you know him pretty well, Emmanuel, and clearly one of the biggest assets he had coming into the fight, it was very persuasive for a lot of people this week, was his powerful self-belief and self-confidence. Where do you suppose that self-belief is now?
I don't think he has that type of confidence anymore, but he's still in the fight. But I think his confidence is waned after he felt the power of Manny. Manny is physically much stronger and more powerful than he ever anticipated.
I'm thinking of a conversation we had with Nassim Richardson when Richardson was in the Shane Mosley fighter meeting at last month's pay-per-view card. Somebody said something disparaging about Pacquiao, and Richardson said, listen, you can knock him all you want until he touches you. When he touches you, that's when you learn how special he is.
I mean, here's Bradley still fighting as hard as he can. I think what he has realized is throughout his career, his willpower has always been enough to overcome the other guy's talent, skill, whatever it is. Pacquiao's so good, sheer will doesn't seem to be enough, but it hasn't stopped Bradley from trying.
I don't think anything will stop Bradley from trying. He's a very committed person. And Pacquiao seems to be bleeding in the mouth and may have a cut tongue. So we'll see if that becomes a factor as the fight goes on. But again, they're trading shots, and that's exactly what Pacquiao wants. Bradley landing more punches in this round. Yep, I read it wrong. Pacquiao's landing more punches. And Bradley has, for the first time, a discouraged look on his face as he goes back to the corner.
Yep. Look, your foot fucked up in the second round, dude. You're in the 7th. Hey, you're good, man. Can you give me 5 more of these? Chat, come on. Fucking look alive. I am. Okay, look at fucking alive. Let's go.
All right, man. Let's walk him down. Head the ring off, okay?
That's nothing. Relax. Relax.
My distance. Hey, just slide back a little bit, man. All you have to do is slide back and counter his ass. Okay? Let's go, baby. Okay? Let's go, Jack. We're almost there, baby.
Box numbers showing Pacquiao nearly doubling Bradley in terms of number of landed punches. In the last round, he landed 27 to 13 for Bradley. Now here comes round 8. Maybe one of the judges could have found a round here or there to give to Bradley, but so far it's been pretty close to a shutout for Manny Pacquiao, or so it appears to us. You know, Emmanuel, if Pacquiao wants to more or less take the first 2 minutes of the round off, and it looks to me as though he does, Bradley hasn't done much to push him in this round.
Can't do nothing, Bradley, because of the size. And also, Manny has a good defense, too.
There's the first headbutt of the fight.
Go.
But Manny's defense is where Bradley cannot penetrate.
It's just the talent disparity is such that Manny can take the first half of the round off with the first 2 minutes, not sustain too much damage, and then just take over and fight for a minute at the end.
Pacquiao got in a solid right hook, and now there's the straight left again. Bradley landed a right hand. He thinks for the moment he might have bothered Pacquiao. Pacquiao has a smile on his face. Perhaps indeed Bradley hurt him. But now Pacquiao drives him back again with a straight left hand. That was the first propitious moment in quite a while for Tim Bradley. That and one right hand that he landed at the end of a round a few rounds ago.
Pacquiao is breathing through his mouth now, and we are about to enter the last third of the fight.
And we're entering the last third of the round, where Pacquiao has done most of his damage in the 7 rounds up to now.
Punch it out, punch it out. Let's go.
Stop. Tim Bradley's only scored 1 knockout in his career past the 6th round. Manny Pacquiao throughout his career has demonstrated a pretty good chin. There's nothing that's happened so far to suggest that Bradley's in any position to set up a knockout of Pacquiao. And the rounds are winding down. This was Pacquiao's least energetic round in a while, but Bradley did almost nothing to take advantage of it. Time! Part of the change of life for Manny Pacquiao, for the first time ever, his 2 young sons come to watch him fight. Manny Jr. and Michael flanking mom, Chinky Pacquiao. Mom either with a stern warning or a stern question to her son there, or so it appeared.
Pull him.
Hook straight, oh. Hook straight bang. Hatawan mo, pag hook mo, mababa siya. Uppercut, hook straight.
When he comes down, go for the uppercut.
Huwag masyadong mahaba.
Take it easy. Not too far. Don't extend too much.
Hata. Hook, flip on, hata.
And feint, he'll jab.
Okay, let's go.
We brought back our longtime Tagalog interpreter, Ernie Kalua, tonight because we noticed last fall that Buboy Fernandez is talking almost as much or more in the corner to Manny Pacquiao than Freddie Roach does. And there's Harold Letterman's card, which is now 80-72. As even while seeming to take the last round off, Pacquiao landed 15 punches to only 9 for Bradley. And by the way, I should say Tagalog. That is the language that Ernie interprets for us. There you go. That's the fight right there. Manny Pacquiao launching and landing a straight left hand. Left hand landed flush.
Whoa. Watch your head.
Another straight left hand between the guard by Pacquiao. 2 more punches landing on the inside.
Stop, I got stop. Stop, guys, stop.
That shot was blocked. Pacquiao's gloves carefully guarding his face.
Both guys are
right
catching
down the middle
a lot
through the
of
guard.
punches.
What?
Both guys are blocking very well,
Yep.
except when they're in those wild exchanges.
Yep.
But other than that, both guys are doing very good on defense.
Yep. The difference is when Pacquiao gets one through the guard,
It's the power.
it does damage. That's exactly right.
It's the power.
Pacquiao slings the left hand over the top.
What must it be like for a champion of the world like Tim Bradley, undefeated in his prime, catch a guy just at the right time, fight as hard as he can, and it's just not good enough.
And lose every round, which by my eyes is the case so far. 9 rounds in the books. In my view, 9 Pacquiao rounds.
I think in the view of most watching.
Hard rounds, but he's won them.
That was Freddie Roach's prediction.
But so far, I'll give Manny
You can do
one
this,
of the
baby.
rounds
If
at this
you
stage.
want to put pressure, I know what's wrong with your fucking foot. But you gotta move
So
your
far, it's a
shoulders
good
a
prediction.
little faster. Hey, you got bowing and waving faster, okay? And don't fucking drop your hands when you come up, please. Okay?
Tim, he getting tired.
Trying to get you racing up.
He getting tired. You
Keep
can't let him
on
off the
racing
hook.
up, champ.
You can't let him off the hook, Tim.
Hey, we talked about it. Counters after counters, baby. Thank you. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. You're good, baby. Hey, almost, baby. 3 fucking more rounds. Yeah. 3 more rounds, baby. You're there.
He's tired. He's tired.
He's fucking tired.
He's tired too.
Mark Wahlberg, big fight fan, and of course, we saw him as the fighter. Has trained considerable time in the wild card gym with Freddie Roach. Power shots in 9. Pacquiao landed 22. Bradley had his best statistical round, 21 out of 52. Bradley 25-78. Pacquiao threw 94 punches in that round. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, I've got it 9-0, 90-81. Manny Pacquiao. He still does too much damage in each and every round with that straight left hand. I mean, the guy, he just can't seem to miss Timothy Bradley's jaw. He comes across with that straight left hand. And, Timothy Bradley, you got to give him credit. He takes a heck of a punch, but even still, Manny Pacquiao nailing him with too many left hands. 9-0, Manny Pacquiao.
Tell you something else. Yes, Pacquiao's winning competitive rounds, and Bradley's very tough. But I get the feeling that if Bradley had a little more, Pacquiao would ratchet it up and also win competitive rounds. I don't get the feeling that Bradley's really coming close to winning these rounds. That Pacquiao is...
He's making them exciting rounds.
He's not making it tougher on himself than he has to.
Now you've heard Joel Diaz in the corner talking to Bradley about his foot and saying ignore it, etc. He has told others at ringside that Bradley has a damaged right foot, and he heard it somehow in the second round. They're using the term, it's broken. I'm not sure how somebody with a broken foot would be moving the way Bradley is, but the bottom line supposedly is he's compromised by his right foot.
Every fighter's dealing with something, right, Emmanuel? There's always something, a foot, a hand.
Part of the fight game.
Yeah, probably Manny Pacquiao will tell us after the fight that his calves were tight.
And that Bradley was a very determined contender.
Now let's see if Pacquiao tries to fashion the last-minute rally, which has been his pattern throughout the fight. Good left hook by Bradley. Straight left hand for Pacquiao. Well, this is a round in which Pacquiao hasn't done much with 30 seconds to go, and Bradley landed a couple of good shots.
So far, Bradley's won this round, but he hasn't been able to do any damage. He did enough to win the round, probably, but not really hurt Manny.
And interestingly, it's Bradley implementing the strategy we thought he'd implement from the beginning, which is trying to counter Pacquiao.
This would clearly appear to be Bradley's best round. Pacquiao's trying to come on now at the end, land one more big shot. Maybe clean it, but the bell sounds.
All right. We let that round go. We need enough punches, okay? Let's get more punches, there's combinations. You got 6 minutes to go, son. All right? It's your fight.
Come on, baby. Hey, no pain. No pain.
Hey, you're a fucking warrior, champ.
No pain.
Here we see a situation which I think was the fourth round, which is where I believe Bradley hurt his right foot as he was doing all this twisting and pivoting, keeping up with Manny, which is one of Manny's specialty.
There you go.
And there it is when he twisted the right foot right there. I think that's what it's still bothered him possibly. But nevertheless, Manny's fighting his fight. Still, it's more that Manny just physically and too strong and too powerful.
The 10th round was statistically equal according to CompuBox. They landed the same number of punches. They landed the same number of power shots. Personally, I think Bradley got in a couple of punches that were better, and Harold Letterman agrees with us. Freddie Roach agreed, and now Bradley has broken the shutout, at least by our lights.
In a basketball game, the Eastern Conference Finals ended today with the Heat beating the Celtics. In a basketball game, a guy rolls his ankle like that, he comes out of the game, at least for a little while. But in the fight game, there's nowhere to hide. You gotta just fight with it.
There's no substitute to bring in. Incidentally, Emmanuel, I personally think Pacquiao's beard is a little bit on the full side, and if I were Joel Diaz, I might have demanded that it be shaved.
Yeah. But you know, that's a small detail, and I think Diaz is just not that type of a guy. And you know, Manny's always had that kind of mustache beard or whatever you call it.
Bradley's not a power puncher anyway.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't matter.
Straight left hand for Pacquiao.
Pacquiao threw that punch to end the fight.
Yeah, he was trying to knock Bradley out with that shot. Bradley's proven he's got a pretty decent chin. Makes Kendall Holt look good for having knocked him down in the first round.
Good chin.
And as he's turned the fight into this little kind of minor skirmishes and ambushes, he's done better over the last couple rounds. But too little, too late.
Yeah, Pacquiao came out in the early rounds and answered any questions about whether his new change of life would make him more docile as a prize fighter. He took command of the fight, he landed power shots, he won the rounds. Right hook by Pacquiao. Left hand by Pacquiao. 47 seconds to go in the round. He seems to be looking for a KO here in the 11th.
Both guys has great coordination and footwork. And that's why it's hard for anyone to land two solid punches in a row. Unbelievable balance on both of the guys.
Manny Pacquiao's footwork is unbelievable.
Yes, it is.
He gets to places no other fighter can get to.
And he's getting close with those home run left hands.
Yes, he is. Bradley, at the moment, decides his best defense is a good offense. Lands a right hand. Pacquiao keeps coming.
That was a strafing shot from Bradley. Had a good right hand to the body.
But another good round for Manny Pacquiao, who's landed several hard power shots. And with only one round to go, it seems to be a foregone conclusion.
Got one more round, baby. One more round, you're gonna make history, baby, okay? Just relax. Take a fucking deep breath. Here's a mouthpiece, coach. Here's a mouthpiece. Hey, be smart. You got one round. You don't want to make mistakes in this fucking round. This is the most critical round of the fucking fight, the last one. Okay? We're here together, okay? Let's put it together now.
Okay,
last round.
Let's go.
Last round.
Right?
Kunin natin to.
Last round, gentlemen. It's the last round. Let's get this fight. Just keep getting in. If he waits for you, when he turns around, hit him with the other one.
Round 12, final round.
Touch him up. Touch up. All right, let's go.
Well, if we reach the final bell, it'll be the 5th consecutive Pacquiao fight to go the distance, and still we talk about his remarkable punching power. Bottom line is good fighters like Tim Bradley, if they want not to get knocked out, can do a pretty good job of avoiding it.
But I still think he punches good. I think Manny's still one of the best punchers in the game. He punches through his targets. Bradley's a tough guy, and after that, maybe a third or fourth round, he hasn't been able to land solid on Bradley with 2 or 3 punches. Bradley's dipping, twisting, turning, moving, ducking, turning around, not getting hit solid with 2 punches.
I'll tell you something else.
See that?
Not only is Pacquiao moving Bradley more with his shots than Bradley moving Pacquiao, but this is the hardest I've ever seen Bradley throw punches. This is Bradley primed for the moment, throwing the hardest shots he can and not hurting Pacquiao with them.
Exactly. But you can't grow power overnight. You have it or you don't. And to some degree, it's a mystery why some fighters have power and others who appear as though they should don't. Emmanuel, to a certain degree, you just can't figure it out, can you?
No, you can improve punching power a lot, but some guys are just born that way. I call it heavy-handed.
How about heavy calves? Look at those calves on Pacquiao.
The biggest I've ever
Bradley.
saw in proportion to his body. It's unbelievable.
Well, there's no question that's where the power comes from. The driving legs, his ability to commit, his willingness to risk to throw those shots, all of it conspires to make him a great prize fighter.
One of the greatest who ever lived. Every generation has their guys, and this one, it's Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, of course, and hopefully one day we get to see that fight.
Hope springs eternal in the boxing fan's heart.
Meanwhile, Bradley's still throwing punches like he means it.
And winning this round at this point, in my opinion.
Just a tremendous performance against the game in his prime. Young champion, determined to win, never stopped trying, but outclassed.
Well, I guess Bradley's cornermen feel as though they might not be at this level again, so they want to pick their fighter up and carry him around. Pacquiao is on his feet in the corner talking with his guys. Bradley's still hoisted aloft. And let's take a look at the story of the fight in highlight form. And the caption here is Manny Pacquiao's straight left hand. One of the dominant weapons in boxing, perhaps the #1 offensive weapon in boxing over the course of the past 8 or 10 years. Manny Pacquiao's straight left hand, Emmanuel Stewart, dominated this fight.
But after the first few rounds, he never could land it consistently. You know, he could land it every once in a while, but usually, most of the time, Bradley was moving away from the punches. And he never could land it after these first two right here. The rest of the punches, he couldn't land just the way he wanted to. But he still did enough to win the fight and overpower Bradley.
Harold, how did your scorecard wind up?
Okay, Jim, I got a 119, 109, 11 rounds to 1, Manny Pacquiao. I agree with the graphic, with the clip that shows that straight left hand landing over and over and over again. That was the determining factor in each and every round. He would hurt Bradley with that straight, vicious left hand. Bradley couldn't knock enough power shots to hurt Pacquiao more. 11-1, Manny Pacquiao.
All right, Harold Letterman, take us through the 3 official judges who will score the fight very quickly.
All right, Jim, as I say, Dwayne Ford teaches all the other judges how to judge. Very solid choice here. CJ Ross, she's been judging for a while, there's no doubt about it. She's been judging since 1992, but I don't know if she's ready for a major fight like this. A little bit shaky. Jerry Roth, very good judge. Had a tough time recently with Brandon Rios and Richard Abril, but other than that, he's usually pretty solid.
All right. And Michael Buffer is standing by with the official results. Let's go to him right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. Jerry Roth scores about 115-113 for Pacquiao. CJ Ross scores it 115-113 for Bradley. And Dwayne Ford scores it 115-113 to the winner by split decision. And new WBO welterweight champion of the world, the Desert Storm, Timothy
We're blind. I think Harold Letterman is the best scorer alive, and I think that is a terrible, bogus decision.
I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what to say. I mean, just when they started off the 115 and 113, and I have no comment. I'm totally confused.
I'm as confused as anyone could possibly be. Chinky Pacquiao's reaction at ringside. Timothy Bradley has scored an upset split decision victory over Manny Pacquiao. God only knows how. Harold Letterman,
Jim,
you covered Dwayne Ford with glory. You talked about how he teaches the others how to score. He scored the fight for Timothy Bradley.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Manny Pacquiao was the aggressor all night. He walked him down, he set him up, and then he belted him with the left hand. I mean, you couldn't miss it. Timothy Bradley covering up, backing up, never really landed a solid shot that stopped Pacquiao in his tracks. Never hurt him once. I mean, that decision was a crime. Without question, Manny Pacquiao won the fight.
What is happening to scoring in Las Vegas, Nevada? This is the second decision here this year that those of us who follow the sport have to look at and think of as absurd. Bob Arum smiling as he hugged Timothy Bradley.
Yeah, both under contract. You know, after being here for the second Hearns-Leonard fight, and in doing that decision, nothing really surprises me in decisions.
Well, there's Manny Pacquiao waving to the crowd and smiling. If that was a test of his new commitment and religious faith, he passes the test because he's able to treat this equanimously, at least so far. Total punches landed. Pacquiao lands 94 more by CompuBox count, and lands at nearly twice the connect percentage rate, landing 34% of his punches to 19% for Bradley. Power punches, 190 for Pacquiao, 108 for Bradley, 28% to 39%. And frankly, I didn't see Bradley land that many really solid connect shots in the fight.
No, when they had those little flash exchanges, he landed punches a lot of time. He would get out of the way of many shots and land a lot of flashy tail-end punches, but I didn't think he did enough to beat him and to win the decision.
What about all the banging to the body and clinches? Could that have been the difference? It's just amazing to me. I have no way to understand this. Let's take a look at Monica Bradley during the moment of the decision. And that's Cameron Duncan, who is Bradley's manager. And their level of ecstasy is almost beyond description. And this is Jinky Pacquiao, who heard the third score and looks up in extreme disbelief. She's been to a few fights in her lifetime.
She has a lot of company.
The two boys came to their prize fight for the first time, and here's Bradley hearing the decision.
Well, Bradley himself showed the emotions that he'd won the fight after the fight, his expressions.
All right, Max Kellerman is in the ring. Let's go to him right now.
Tim, congratulations on a tremendous performance of heart and determination. You hear the reaction of the crowd. Ringside, we had Pacquiao up by a considerable margin. It seemed to us that you guys thought you'd lost the fight at the end of the fight. Tell me about it.
No, you know what? It was a good fight. It was a good competitive fight. Every round was pretty close. Pacquiao, you know, he won some of the early rounds. The later rounds, I controlled the action with my jab, moving. You know, I got to go back home, review the tape, and I'll see if I won the fight or really not.
You hurt your foot, it seemed. Yeah. Here's the shot of what happened. Describe it to me.
I know I was stepping back. I think I stepped on his ankle. I'm not sure what happened. There it is, right there. There it is, right there.
Was this a pre-existing injury that you exacerbated?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just trying to get out the way of Manny's punches.
Early on, we were very impressed by how much determination you were showing in the face of what looked to us like superior firepower. What did you think early in the fight when Manny was hitting you?
Well, I mean, he's a strong puncher. He rocked me a couple times in the fight. But, you know, I withstanded it. You know, I held my ground and I fought hard to the end.
Okay, what is this feeling for you right now? The biggest win of your career, still undefeated officially, and Manny congratulating you, but you're hearing boos cascading down. What does this feel like?
You know what? This is boxing. November 10th, we can do the rematch, and you know, he can make it up. He can make it up.
As you predicted, November 10th rematch?
Absolutely.
Manny, what do you think about this fight?
Well, you know, people knows, and you know, I accept what the result is. I respect the judges, the referee, all the officials. You know, I cannot blame them. It's part of the game, and I accept that wholeheartedly, and I give thanks to the Lord. You know, I mean, I do my best, but my best wasn't good enough.
Did you think you won the fight?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Do you want a rematch on November 10th?
No problem, no problem. I mean, let's give credit to Bradley, and he did well tonight, and you know, I respect him, and that's the decision. We respect the officials.
Thank you, Manny. Tim, just continue with you here for a second, and not to rain on your parade because it's the biggest win of your career. How does it feel to have the official verdict to have won, to have beaten Manny Pacquiao?
I mean, it feels great. It feels great, but I'm not satisfied. You know, you can hear the boos in the crowd. You know, everybody in the crowd think I lost the fight. I know it's predominantly Pacquiao fans, but you know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
The punch stat numbers favored him by a bunch, thrown, landed, etc. But there were some quieter rounds, especially later in the fight, where you seemed to maybe have pulled it out. I spoke to someone whose opinion I trust ringside, who did score the fight for you. You said you wanted to go back and look at the tape. What are you looking for?
Well, I'm going to see if I won the fight or not. You know, I was in here. I thought it was a close match. Let me go back, watch the tape, and see if I won the fight. That's pretty much it.
An honest answer from an honest fighter. Congratulations on a gutsy performance against a great fighter himself, Tim. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Max Kellerman, and all credit to both Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley for a very spirited prize fight. Let me say this, and I say this to friends and colleagues all the time. Scoring prize fights is not all that easy. It isn't as easy as it looks. If you try to score a prize fight, you might find yourself running into the same obstacles that official scorers sometimes run into. But Emmanuel, it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that difficult.
No, but you know, I'm just so confused when I started hearing the scores, 115, 113. I mean, just the fact that even if it was for Manny, I was surprised that close. But, you know, everybody laughs at me because I love knockouts, and that's why. I've saw this so many times. It's a part of boxing. Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, the second fight with Tommy knocking Ray down twice, and they still called it a draw. But, you know, I just accepted it. We walked out of the ring. Officially, that's what it is, and that's what it is tonight. It was still a good competitive fight. It wasn't a one-sided fight, but it was about as close as you could get without one guy being knocked down a few times.
I'm trying to think of a decision with which I more disagree. I think I have to go all the way back to Shannon Briggs versus George Foreman. Max Kellerman, how do we explain this to our fans?
Well, first, you know, guys like me always say, well, the money guy in the fight is the guy who's going to get the benefit of the doubt and win the decision, and Top Rank, the most powerful promotional entity, Pacquiao means the most money to them. This sort of dispels that line of thinking. I can think of fights like Stevie Johnston and Cesar Bazan, for instance, where the rematch, where people sitting on one side of the ring thought Stevie Johnston shut him out. On the other side of the ring, thought Bazan won a close decision. I do notice polling people ringside, some of whose opinions I trust, that those sitting by Bradley's corner seem to think he won. Some credible people think Bradley won. And I also remember the Mosley De La Hoya rematch, where you guys, I didn't call that fight, it was you guys with Larry Merchant, and you guys had De La Hoya winning by a substantial margin. I was sitting ringside in press row. I thought Mosley won. So I'd like to, as Tim said, go back and look at the tape and maybe view it again with the sound also. Maybe we're not influencing what I'm thinking. That said, usually the guy who on CompuBox lands many more punches, lands many more power punches, especially when that jibes with what I think I saw, I'm pretty confident saying I thought that fighter won. And that was Manny Pacquiao.
It'll be fascinating to see what the media scores are. Yes, there was the giant disparity the night of De La Hoya versus Mosley, too, when all of us on the broadcast team were sure that De La Hoya had won, and virtually everybody on press row thought that Shane Mosley had won.
Maybe we gave into groupthink. I'd like to go back and see, but I don't think so.
Maybe we led each other along. I don't
Perhaps.
find that I've ever influenced Harold Letterman that way. He had it 10 rounds to 2. By the way, if you're looking for where the margin of victory came from, on the official scorecards, in the last 3 rounds, 10, 11, and 12, that's 9 scorecards, and on those 9 scorecards, Pacquiao won 1. So 8 of the last 9 round scores went to Bradley in this fight. Now, again, Harold Letterman scored both the 11th and the 12th rounds for Pacquiao, but they were relatively close rounds. Could we have led ourselves down the primrose path, Emmanuel?
We could have. You know, I'm also thinking Manny got the benefit of a controversial decision, his last fight here with Marquez. And in my mind, I've always said, if it's another close fight, I don't think the Nevada Commission will put themselves on the line and say they're just going with the money fighter, which is Pacquiao. But never would I expect anything like this to happen. But I'm looking at the judges, all of the scorecards was fairly consistent to some degree, even though totally not blending in or compatible with what we thought and most of the fans thought. But that's the way it is, and Timothy Bradley is the new WBO welterweight champion of the world.
And one significant effect, which we have not mentioned at all up to this point, is that if you're one of those who's been waiting with bated breath for 3 years for Manny Pacquiao to fight Floyd Mayweather, you're going to be waiting longer, because this has thrown a giant monkey wrench into any momentum which may have existed toward a negotiation for that fight. Now, Floyd Mayweather is within his rights in saying, why do I have to fight Manny Pacquiao? He just lost his last fight. So probably, unquestionably, we're going to see a rematch between Pacquiao and Bradley. That presumes that Pacquiao wants to continue his boxing career and wants to get back to the level where he's been. Tonight, he has the 4th loss of his career. Tim Bradley is still unbeaten and has a brand new status. I've seldom been more befuddled by a decision, and I think it was flat out wrong. Thanks very much for being with us on this terrific pay-per-view attraction. June 16, World Championship Boxing returns, with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. defending his middleweight title belt against Irish action southpaw Andy Lee. July 7th, Boxing After Dark brings you a unification matchup at 122 pounds. Nonito Donaire and Jeffrey Matabula put their titles on the line. Also that night, always entertaining brawler Brandon Rios faces Mauricio Herrera. Pacquiao versus Bradley has been brought to you by Cerveza Tecate, Con Carácter, AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. MGM Grand, the city of entertainment in Las Vegas. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. You can get exclusive updates from HBO Boxing's Facebook page and Twitter feed. And as always, at HBO.com, the home of HBO Boxing Online. And now for our entire crew, this is Jim Lampley with a special shout out to our missing audio specialist, Paul Hogat. Paul, we're all thinking of you. Saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.